The hidden training ground. Why God needs you to master the small stuff. I want you to imagine this. You're standing in the middle of a dusty field. The sun is setting, and all around you are sheep, wandering, stubborn, restless. You're young, unknown, forgotten. No one's applauding you. No one's posting your highlight reel. But heaven is watching. Because this quiet, ordinary place might just be your training ground for greatness. Psalm 78:70 says, "He chose David, his servant, and took him from the sheep pens." God didn't find David in a palace, he found him in the pasture. While everyone else was looking for kings, God was watching shepherds. And that's what I want to talk about today, the hidden training ground. Why God needs you to master the small stuff. God trains you in the ordinary. We all want the throne, the spotlight, the calling fulfilled. But before God ever hands you a crown, he hands you responsibility in obscurity. David's brothers were warriors. They had armor. They had experience. But David, he had sheep and solitude. He didn't just feed them, he protected them. He fought lions and bears when no one was watching. 1 Samuel 17:34-35 tells us, "But David said to Saul, 'Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth.'" Now let's pause there. That's not glamorous work. No crowd, no recognition, no medals. But that's where character was built. That's where faithfulness was proven. You see, God's training ground doesn't look like a stage. It looks like responsibility without recognition. It's the extra effort you put in when no one says thank you. It's showing up early, cleaning up late, giving your best when no one's clapping. Because God's pattern has always been this. He tests you in private before he promotes you in public. Luke 16:10 says, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much." If you can handle sheep, you can handle soldiers. If you can fight lions in secret, you can face giants in the open. God is watching your faithfulness. Let me tell you something powerful. God keeps records of the unseen. When David sang songs to God out in the fields, no one heard him, but heaven did. When he fought off predators to protect his father's flock, no one clapped, but heaven took note. Sometimes you think no one notices the sacrifices you make, the integrity you hold on to when it'd be easier to cheat, the late nights you spend working for a dream no one believes in. But God sees it all. Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." The reason many people miss their destiny is because they quit in the pasture. They stop showing up because they think, this doesn't matter. But the pasture is the proving ground of purpose. When God saw David tending those sheep with excellence, he said, "There's my king." Not because of his title, but because of his heart. 1 Samuel 16:7 reminds us, "The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." Your resume doesn't move heaven, your faithfulness does. Lions, bears, and giants. Here's the beautiful part of God's process. Nothing you go through is wasted. Every lion you faced in the dark is preparation for a Goliath in the light. When David stood before the giant, he didn't tremble. Why? Because he had already fought worse battles in private. He told Saul, "The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." 1 Samuel 17:37. David wasn't confident in himself. He was confident in the God who trained him in obscurity. Listen, God never wastes pain. He never wastes practice. He never wastes process. Some of you are wondering, why am I still stuck here? Why hasn't the door opened yet? And God is saying, because you're still in training. You're learning to fight the lion of fear, the bear of doubt, the beast of insecurity, before you face the Goliath of public pressure. The pasture is where God strengthens your muscles so the palace doesn't destroy your character. Don't despise your lions and bears. They're not there to stop you. They're there to shape you. The power of hidden obedience. Obedience in small things is what qualifies you for big things. You don't skip steps in God's kingdom. You grow through them. David didn't wake up one morning and become king. He grew through layers of obedience. Obedience to his father Jesse, tending sheep. Obedience to the call to deliver lunch to his brothers. Obedience to step up when everyone else was afraid. You can't pray for Goliath-sized influence if you're ignoring sheep-sized responsibilities. Matthew 25:23 says, "His master replied, 'Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things.'" You want God to trust you with a platform, then show him he can trust you with a broom. The moments that seem menial are often the most meaningful. Every small act of faithfulness is building a resume heaven can't ignore. When David played his harp, heaven was listening. When he tended the flock, heaven was watching. When he obeyed in the small, God was preparing the appointment of a lifetime. The moment of elevation. Here's the turning point. One day, the prophet Samuel comes to Jesse's house looking for the next king. All the brothers line up, tall, strong, impressive. But God whispers, "Not this one, not that one." Until finally Samuel asks, "Are these all the sons you have?" And Jesse says, almost as an afterthought, "There is still the youngest. He is tending the sheep." 1 Samuel 16:11. The one everyone forgot. The one left in the field. That's the one God remembered. David walks in from the pasture still smelling like sheep, still dirt under his nails, and God says, "Anoint him. That's my king." Do you see it? David didn't have to push for recognition. Faithfulness brought the prophet to his doorstep. Promotion in God's kingdom is never forced. It's revealed in time. Psalm 75:6-7 says, "For exaltation comes neither from the east nor from the west, but God is the judge. He puts down one and exalts another." When it's your time, no one can block it. When God opens the door, it won't just fit your resume, it'll fit your faithfulness. Modern application. Your sheep, your field. So what's your sheep pen? Maybe it's your job right now that feels small. Maybe it's parenting kids, serving in a church, studying late nights while everyone else is partying. Maybe it's running a business that no one believes in yet. Whatever it is, that's your field, and how you handle your field determines if you're ready for your throne. Stop saying, "When I get to the next level, then I'll give my best." No, give your best now. Because if you're lazy in obscurity, you'll crumble under opportunity. Colossians 3:23 says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters." When you serve with excellence in the hidden place, heaven takes notice, and God begins aligning people, moments, and favor to promote you at the right time. Let me make it plain. Your small stage is not punishment, it's preparation. The hidden season is not God ignoring you, it's God investing in you. How to master the small stuff. Let me give you 3 ways to master your hidden season. 1. Serve with excellence even when it's unseen. Don't measure your effort by who's watching, measure it by who you're becoming. Excellence is not about applause, it's about alignment with your purpose. 2. Fight your private battles boldly. The lion of fear and the bear of discouragement will test you when no one's around. Win there, and you'll walk with confidence when the Goliaths appear. 3. Stay humble and teachable. David never saw himself as too important for small things. Even after being anointed king, he went back to tending sheep until God called him forward again. Because real leaders don't rush the process, they respect it. The shepherd's heart. David's strength wasn't in his sword, it was in his heart. He learned compassion by protecting helpless creatures. He learned responsibility by serving faithfully. He learned worship by singing alone under the stars. All the skills that made him a great king were forged in the quiet fields of faithfulness. Psalm 23 begins, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." David wrote that because he understood the shepherd's heart. He had lived it. He knew what it meant to care, to guard, to guide. And when he finally became king, he ruled not as a tyrant, but as a servant leader. That's why the Bible calls him a man after God's own heart.
So maybe right now you're in your field.
Anonymous, overlooked, underestimated. Maybe you're thinking, does this really matter? I came to tell you, it does. Your faithfulness in this season is shaping the foundation of your next. Every small act of obedience is a brick in the palace God is building for your destiny. When the prophet Samuel poured oil on David's head, it wasn't the beginning of his greatness, it was the recognition of what had already been proven in the field. So stay faithful, stay humble, stay excellent. Because when God finds someone mastering the small stuff, he says, that's someone I can trust with more. Don't wait to feel important before you act important. Don't wait for a title to live with purpose. Your hidden place is not a prison, it's a classroom. Your field is your foundation. The same God who watched David in the pasture is watching you today. And when you've proven faithful in the little, the door will open, not by human hands, but by divine timing. So let this be your declaration today. I will master the small stuff. I will give excellence in the unseen. I will stay faithful in the field until God calls my name. Because when that day comes, you won't have to chase the throne will come looking for you. Please like and subscribe to this channel for motivational stories from the Bible.